Hello sports fans, Coach Carroll here with SportsBanter38, and today what we're going to talk about is a preview of Week 1 in the NFL, and go ahead and get started real quick on this. Beginning with Thursday night, we had Atlanta going to Philadelphia to open up the season. It was a pretty good defensive game. Philadelphia ended up pulling the game out 18-12. Nick Foles was 19-34 for 117 yards. Jay Ajayi had 62 yards on 15 carries with 2 touchdowns. Julio Jones, 10 receptions, 169 yards, and no touchdowns, basically following the narrative from last year where he had basically over 1,400 yards and only scored 3 touchdowns. I know because he was on my fantasy team. Moving on from there, I'd actually picked Cleveland to beat Pittsburgh. As it turned out, they tied. They went the full overtime duration without a score. Big story in this game is James Conner. He had 31 carries for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns for Pittsburgh. For anyone who's familiar with James Conner, he was the running back from Pittsburgh University who had cancer, and he came back and he played. He came back and he finished his last season or two at Pittsburgh where he had really big years, and he ended up being drafted by Pittsburgh. And with the whole deal with Le'Veon Bell and all that stuff, him coming in and being able to contribute the way that he did, I think is really big, and it's a really good story. Props to that young man, and I hope he has a long career in the NFL. If anyone deserves it, it is him. But on to that, for the rest of that game, like I said, it was a 21-21 tie. Tyrod Taylor was 15-40 for 197 yards and a touchdown. He also led the team in rushing with 77 yards on 8 carries with another touchdown. And of course, Jarvis Landry had 7 receptions for 106 yards. Good ball game, but as you can see, it's a tie. There's not very many ties, but here we go. So anyway, not bad to start the season for Cleveland, tying a good opponent like Pittsburgh. Moving on, we got Cincinnati over Indianapolis, 34-23. I'm not going to go into depth on every game. We'll see what Andrew Luck did real quick. Andrew Luck was 39-53 for 319 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not bad for his first outing back out with Indianapolis after almost 2 seasons. Next game, we got Miami defeating Tennessee 27-20. Tennessee had a lot of key injuries. For example, Taylor Lewan went out for concussion protocol. They lost Delaney Walker. It looks like it may be pretty serious. Also, Marcus Mariota got dinged up. So, not the greatest day for the Tennessee Titans. Ron Tannehill, on the other hand, was 20 for 28 for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not bad at all, coming off injury. So, moving on, Minnesota defeated San Francisco 24-16. Kirk Cousins with his first game with his new team, 20-36, 244, and 2 touchdowns. Next, we got New England over Houston. Not a surprise there. Deshaun Watson, after being out for injury, was 17-34 for 176 yards and 1 touchdown. Tom Brady was 26-39 for 277 and 3 touchdowns. And New England gets the win there. The next game, it was the big upset of the week. Tampa Bay defeated New Orleans 48-40. Ryan Fitzpatrick just went off with 21 for 28, 417 yards and 4 touchdowns. Drew Brees 37-45 for 439 yards and 3 touchdowns. Pretty explosive game. But Tampa Bay walks away with the upset in Week 1. Next, we got Jacksonville over New York Giants, 20-15. Jacksonville pretty much used their defense to win this game. Offensively, they didn't do a whole lot, so this is basically following the narrative from last year. We'll see how long they're able to keep up without much offensive production. Next, we got Baltimore 47-3 over Buffalo. Nathan Peterman started week 1 for Buffalo, and Buffalo last time he started, they really struggled offensively, so doesn't look like much changed here. Josh Allen did end up coming in and playing, so I would look for Josh Allen to probably start next game. For Baltimore, Flacco was 25-34 for 236 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not bad at all. Moving on, Kansas City went to LA and defeated the Chargers 38-28. Patrick Mahomes in his first start, 15-27, 256 and 4 touchdowns. Of course, Phillip Rivers 34-51 for 424 and 3 touchdowns. Not bad at all, but to go on the road and get a win like that first week of the season is pretty good for Kansas City. Next game, Seattle defeated Denver Denver defeated Seattle 27-24. Case Keenum in his first game with the Broncos, 25-39 for 329 and 3 touchdowns. Not bad at all. Russell Wilson, 19-33 for 298 yards and 3 touchdowns. Once again, not a bad game from him, but Denver comes out ahead in this game, 27-24. Washington defeated Arizona 24-6. Adrian Peterson in his first game with Washington, 26 attempts, 96 yards and a touchdown. Alex Smith, 21-30, 255 and 2 touchdowns. He's always everywhere Alex Smith goes. He's not lights out, but he's consistent and he wins. So he continues to do so with Washington. Moving on, Carolina defeated Dallas at home 16-8. Prescott 19-29, 170 yards. Ezekiel Elliott was 15 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. Cam Newton 17-26 for 161 yards, 13 attempts rushing for 58 yards and a touchdown. And the thriller on Monday night, we had Chicago going to Green Bay. Chicago led a majority of the game, but superhero on one leg, Aaron Rodgers, brings them back in the end to win the game. And he was 20-30 for 286 yards for 3 touchdowns. Randall Cobb had 9 receptions for 142 yards and 1 touchdown. So really exciting game. Moving on, New York Jets went to Detroit and laid it on them, winning 48-17. I'm sorry, the Chicago Green Bay game was Sunday night, not Monday night. New York and Detroit was Monday, and the Rams and Oakland was Monday. All right. Let's see. Sam Darnold in his debut was 16-21 for 198 yards and 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Crowell had 10 carries for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. 48-17, not bad for a rookie debut. They scored 31 points in the third quarter alone. Last game of the week was the LA Rams going to Oakland, and I'm not surprised by this score. The Rams defeated Oakland 33-13. Jared Goff was 18-33 for 233 yards and 2 touchdowns. Todd Gurley had 20 attempts for 108 yards. On the other side, Derek Carr was 29-40 for 303 yards. Jared Cook had 9 receptions for 180 yards. So Oakland, who should be really strong defensively, pretty much showed that. So that's going to do it for this video. I was just going to a quick recap of all the NFL games, NFL action from week 1. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, share, and hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. It really helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate it. Let's see if we can't get about 15 likes on this video. That would be great. Anyway, guys, once again, thank you for watching, and everybody have a wonderful evening. This is Coach Carroll with SportsBanter38, and I am out.